Alex Van Pelt there. RC, how do you expect the Texans defense to play Maye in his first start?
Like he a rookie getting his first start, and they gonna get after his keister. You know, like one, you can't block the rushers for the Houston Texans. You just can't. You ain't really blocked anybody all year, and you definitely won't block them this week. And you're going to play a team that majors in man-to-man coverage with Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter on the outside, a team that plays a ton of nickel. Now, if your thought is, right, because Maye and Mayo, I do like the way that that sounds. If your thought is we're going to stick to the run game, we're going to protect this kid, we're going to move the pocket, give him some opportunities for options between run and pass, then that works. But the only reason I could see starting Drake Maye this week is because you play a game at home and you're absolutely done with Jacoby Brissett, and you think to yourself, I don't care if we win, I don't care if we ruin this kid, it has to be better than what we've seen for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I don't love this matchup for New England. I do think one thing that's worth highlighting that they need to really be prepared for New England is this Texans defense brings a lot of pressure. And I say that with some surprise because that's not what D'Amico Ryans has historically done, right? He has not leaned heavily on the blitz in years past, and that's not what they did in San Francisco. But so far this season, these Texans are blitzing at the 7th highest rate in the NFL. If you want to see how badly that can go watch Caleb Williams' tape against them. They blitzed him on over 40% of dropbacks, sacked him 7 times. So for New England, in terms of trying to get Drake Maye through this, RC hit on all the things they need to do, put him on the move, try to create some easy opportunities for him in the passing game, but they also need to prepare him for the blitz because it is coming.
Yeah, and I love that Mina mentioned the blitz. This team plays a ton of sub personnel, which is nickel, because now they've moved Jalen Petrie into the block. Into the box. I believe him combined with Algiz Al-Shire, they use some of that speed to add to the rush, and that's made it extremely difficult for teams to protect against D'Amico Ryans' defense this year.
Man, you just hope that Drake Maye stays protected in this game and stays healthy. So we're all going to be looking out to see what happens. You never know, though.
Honestly, it makes no sense. It really, really makes no sense for them to start Drake Maye, but you know what? It's a great gift that they gave the Houston Texans, quite frankly. There's zero excuses for the Texans to not dominate this game. Seriously. The one excuse I could give is if Drake Maye proves to be the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. Honestly, right? He is that dude. And it's like, oh my God, he is unreal. And he is just amazing from the jump and never looked back, which I don't think that's going to happen. Otherwise, if he was, he would have been starting from the jump. So the Texans should have this game convincingly. This should be one of those games that almost honestly, unfortunately, will get minimal coverage Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday onward. I know I'm going to be fighting to try to find, clips to be able to make with regards to the Texans because it should be like such a convincing, easy game that they're going to be like, yeah, the Texans won big, but like, who cares? It was the Patriots. The Patriots are now 1-5, right? Like pretty much a lot of teams are doing when they beat, say, like the Panthers or the Patriots already, right? So I think maybe a little bit earlier on in the season, if you beat the Patriots, it would still be like a little bit of a, hey, you know what, this is pretty cool. They won big. But now that people have seen who the Patriots are, beating them is just like, it's just not newsworthy, right? It's to be expected. I'm still going to watch this game because I want to see what the Texans look like offensively more than anything. Because again, quite frankly, what they look like defensively for Drake Maye and this team, it just means nothing to me. I mean, seriously, it really, really means nothing to me. They could sack him 37 times and they could have negative 300 yards. And I still want to be like, that's a great defense by the Texans. Like, I would just be like, yeah, I mean, it's Drake Maye and the Patriots right now. Like, you better do something like that. So I'm looking more so offensively and more so also because I know Nico Collins isn't playing, and so I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Tank and Diggs and see how they try to continue to get more people involved offensively. And this is going to be one of those interesting games where you don't want to catch yourself right on your back foot, and I think that would be more likely if you had a Jacoby Brissett playing. where you're kind of like, hey, we're going to try some stuff. We want to kind of get things going. You know, we have to kind of adapt offensively right now because of some injuries. But you would almost sometimes you can kind of go into a game with that mentality, but you would have to be very careful with an offense that could still put up some points, and you just should not have this. This should be a game that you should be able to be like, hey, well, let's try some stuff. We're going to do some things that I want to see, you know, how we execute. And if they don't work out, we're still going to be okay, right? Like, we still got this. We're still going to put up our points. We're still going to stop them from putting up points, and we're going to come away with a victory. So I almost hope they don't get up too big too quickly, right? I hope it's not one of those things where it's like a blink of the eye and it's like, you know, 10 minutes in the second quarter and the score is 21-3 or something, or 21-0. Because then those games, then they do start kind of really, I don't know, the games just, the way how the calls are, the way how the plays are being called and the approach, everything just kind of changes really, really quickly. And so I just want to see this Texans offense just look really smooth, honestly. It wasn't a great game against the Bills for the Texans. I know they won, but it was hardly a great game start to finish for them, especially offensively. And I think C.J. Stroud played, and I said this in the clip actually before, that I think C.J. Stroud played better than the box score would look, you know, at first glance, because I think he had an interception and a fumble, if memory serves me correctly. But I still think, though, that this is a game where I'm looking for him to, like, I'm looking for CJ in this offense, again, even though I know it's not full strength. I'm looking for them to be like, yeah, I mean, I'm in a different league than y'all right now. Like no. Like, yeah. Just get out of here, right? I mean, the Jets, right? With Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers looked like a Hall of Famer in his prime against the Patriots, right? It was effortless. It was easy. It was just like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is 28 right now, right? It was effortless. I'm looking for CJ Stroud to be nearly flawless, for this just to be like the easiest game for him offensively. I'm expecting, again, especially because I think they're going to get the ball back a lot. Especially with Drake Maye, I think the Texans should have great field position throughout the entire game. I don't mean to try to really oversell this as just like the easiest game in history ever given, but like, this is just an easy game. This should be just a walk in the park, but sometimes walk in the parks can still be kind of weird, because sometimes it's like CJ Stroud, a quarterback just does too much a little bit, and it's like, I got caught, right? You got your hand caught in the cookie jar. I don't want to see that. I really don't. I don't want to see that. I want to just see a really great, even if the game ends up being, 18 for 23, 210 yards, right? Like that's better than him throwing for 380 yards or something, but he has, and 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. I don't even want to see that. I don't want to see an interception. I don't even want to see a turnover-worthy play. Just play a really beautiful, complete game, start to finish. Everyone involved, right? Don't have to get too fancy. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? Just a really great game where it was like, yep, we did it. We did what we needed to do. We won this game. It was smooth, minimized mistakes. In fact, when we look at the film, there's not even much to really go off of, because it was just a really complete game. That's what I'm personally looking for more than anything. And again, that stems from me having very high expectations for this Texans team. And, kind of reminiscent to a degree. And I know there was an interception with Patrick Mahomes, so it wasn't perfect. But like the way how Colin Cowherd, for instance, talked about the Chiefs were playing with their food. They were showing off versus the Saints. It wasn't my direct read of that game personally, but they did play nearly a perfect game. Again, even though the box score didn't set out to be that way, and especially because of Patrick Mahomes' interception. That was slightly fluky. It wasn't a perfect pass, but again, Patrick Mahomes isn't really playing as well as he's had in years past. This is technically his worst season, so it makes sense a little bit. I'm looking for the Texans just to be smooth. I can't say it enough. They just need to look like, wow, okay, the Texans are a top team and the Patriots are a bottom team. That should be as clear as day for anyone that watches this game. That's what I'm looking for. And honestly, no excuses. Seriously, no excuses. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Houston Texans versus the Patriots? Do you think this should be an incredibly easy game? 5-1, let's go. Do you think that there should still be some margin of error for the Texans, or no excuses? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.